So a few days ago, I talked about how going to class in university is pretty pointless. So you may be wondering why I'm not just an external student then. Today I'm going to talk about why I'm not an external student and basically why you should avoid doing that at all costs. So let's get started. Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I would say that my argument can be broken down into two key arguments. One of them is far more important than the other, but they're both fairly important when you need them. So I guess we'll start with the less important one. So once in a blue moon, I'll occasionally want to talk to a lecturer or talk to a tutor in person. And in first and second year, it's much easier to actually get into those classes just because there's so many more students and people actually tend to show up to classes in first. Not as much in second year, but still quite a bit more than third and then anything after that. But yeah, so pretty much if I want to ask an assignment question or something like that, in first and second year, it was much easier just to be an internal student and actually go into class like that. Even if you'd occasionally have tutors who would complain, there were actually tutors who would complain about internal students who don't show up to class, even though it doesn't affect you. You get paid either way, so I don't know why it bothers them. There's always extra slots, unless you're doing something really obscure with not many slots in it, but there's enough positions for everyone who wants to be an internal student, and then everyone else who doesn't is just gonna go external. Maybe you'll miss out, but at least after first year, that's not going to happen, that's for sure. So my second reason, I would say, is far more important if you care about your grades, and I care about my grades to some extent, but also care about my sanity. So the second reason why I would say that being an internal student is a far better idea is group assignments. So group assignments, if you haven't done one in uni, take everything that's wrong with them in high school and then make all of the problems worse. So people who don't carry their weight, people who don't actually even look at the work, actually getting in contact with people, take all of that, multiply it by 10. So with internal students, generally you can assume that at some point they will show up on campus. Even if it's not to show up to class, occasionally they will actually show up on campus and maybe you can get in contact with them then. External students, good luck even confirming that they exist. So I've had people who I've talked to, I haven't done an external class myself, but everyone who I've talked to has had so much trouble getting in contact with any of their external group members that I don't even know how you manage to get anything done. Pretty much what ends up happening is you end up carrying the entire assignment yourself and wasting a ton of time. But I guess if you were to talk to your lecturer and they're nice, then I guess you could get them to boost your grade up. But still, you've got to at least complete the work. And if they're not going to pull their weight, you've got to put so much extra effort into it just to get something that's passable that honestly, it's not worth it at that point. This isn't to say that internal group assignments are good or anything. I've had people who have literally dropped out of the course who have been put in my group. I don't know how this managed to get set up, but yeah, sometimes it's a mess, but generally your chances are much better when you're an internal student. It's pretty much just a game of chance whether you get a good group. If you can pick your group, no worries. Pick people you know are at least semi-competent at work, or if you know people who are actually good at it, try to get the good people in your group. But when you get assigned groups, there can be a lot of problems, and with external students, you're pretty much stuck getting assigned to groups. There's not really any option there because it's not like there's some meeting place for all the external students to get to. I guess you have the virtual classrooms, but besides that, and that's only if people decide to even go to them, because pretty much you just end up having the same internal problems where you don't really learn anything, so people just don't show up to those anyway. So you never really learn who's actually an external student. So picking a group is just impossible. You have to rely on whoever the lecturer assigns to you. And when you get assigned groups, you generally end up carrying. And nobody likes carrying in a group assignment. So I reckon that might be pretty much everything for this video. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon below if you want to see more from my channel. And yeah, I've got some art stuff planned. I've got some... I don't generally plan out the week, but there's videos coming. If you like them, then hey, I guess you'll like them. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything. So yeah, I'm out.